This is the first life lesson for the accounting year 2021-2022. And considering the difficulties and challenges of the last accounting year, let's do something very, very important so that the coming year can be one of the best years that we have had, or the year that has started, let it be one of the best years that we have ever had. Have you ever thought about this question? Why is the river crooked? If you see the picture of any river, let's say from a helicopter's point of view, does the river look like a straight line or does it look like a little crooked? So I am asking all of you this question. Why is the river crooked? If you want to unmute yourself and answer, fair enough. If you want to type the answer, fair enough. As long as you don't call me and give the answer, it's okay.
Slow down the pace.
River is crooked because, Anil?
To slow down the pace.
To slow down the pace. Okay. Vijay? It is finding its own place. Okay. I'm telling you all the answers are right. Huh? All the answers are right. But we are just going to find out how many different points of view is possible. Rashida?
The river has masti.
Masti. Okay. That's the nature of the river. Okay. The path is crooked. Okay. I think it will go the way it gets. Okay. It's a very interesting question. And very soon you will find out why it's an interesting question. Why?
In nature, nothing is straight.
In nature, nothing is straight.
Oh. Whichever have a curve, which looks beautiful. For example, trees are not straight.
Trees are not straight. Human body is not straight.
Not straight.
Except the nose, which is straight, but then it goes through a bend. Interesting. Even a smile is not straight, na? My turn to answer. And therein, we will also introduce the topic of today. A river is crooked because it always attempts to find the path of least resistance. The river is crooked because it always wants to find the path of least resistance. जहां रेसिस्टेंस कम है वो वहां बहता है. जहां रेसिस्टेंस है वो रुकता नहीं. Philosophically, it can teach us a lot of things, which is the answers that so many of us have shared. But in the context of today's life lesson, what does it mean? It means if I do not set the priorities of my life, I end up doing things which has least resistance, or things which are easiest for me to do. If I do not have the priorities of my life right, if I have not thought about what is more important, what must be done, what has greater impact, I will do things which are easy. And easy may not always be right. Easy may not be always important. Easy may not be what is best for me. In fact, easy might lead to complications. In management, we call it choosing the path of least resistance. Let's mirror it with parenting. There is a child who throws tantrums, and there is a child who is very disciplined. The child who throws tantrums gets things easy because for the parents it's a path of least resistance. Isko do khatam karo yaar, so that my path becomes easy. It is difficult to ignore the child, though it is right to ignore the child who is throwing tantrums. But I do the path of least resistance. Do khatam karo. May not be the right thing to do. Let's come to business. Many businessmen will resort to discounting to get the order. अरे डिस्काउंट दो ताकि जल्दी जल्दी काम हो जाए. Conversing with the customer, establishing value, create a bonding has a lot of resistance. A lot of effort is required. Discount देने में effort नहीं लगता है. So we end up following the path of least resistance. Pramila Kudwa, a lovely lady who's doing batch 135, has been teaching all of us in batch 35 something called Padlets. What is a Padlet? It's a very simple, beautiful software where I will share with you a link, and let's say I will ask you, tell me what has been your most important takeaway from today's session. All you need to do is click on the link. There will be a plus sign over there on the screen. Click on the plus sign and write your takeaway. As all of us do that, it starts getting pasted on a wall as if post-it notes are appearing over there. At the end of it, all I need to do is save that, share with all of you, and everybody will know what has been the important takeaways for different people out of today's session in a very beautiful visual way. Now, to learn how to use the Padlet, as in any learning, is a little complicated. Postponing it is the path of least resistance. That is why so many of us are champion procrastinators. बाद में करते ना. That is why so many of us pay a bill on the last day or the day before that. Time है ना, बाद में करेंगे ना. Why this बाद में करेंगे? Because that is the path of least resistance. The path of least resistance may not be what you actually want in your life. What we actually want in our life is an ability to understand and live by our priorities. Any one of us who wants to live a meaningful life, impactful life, excited life, setting up priorities has to be a skill we need to master. Not just a skill we have, but a skill we need to master. Our life will be tremendously balanced with loads of fun, enough time for friends, time to pursue our hobbies and do what is required when our priorities are clear. When priority is not clear, We might be super busy, but not do thing which excites us or gives us fulfillment. Have you ever felt this in life? You are too busy, you have too many things, you are doing so much, yet you feel empty almost all the time. You feel drained all the time. You feel you are running behind something that you are not able to reach ever. You feel like work is not getting completed only. Ever felt that in life? Which means somewhere life has taken us over and we have not thought about our priorities. Today's session may not be a very entertaining session. Today's session may not have a lot of laughter or masti. But today's session can be a very critical session for all of us. Sometimes when I look at the library we have, I think about which book to read. देखो कितनी किताबें हैं. And that is when we need to set our priorities right. If the priority is right, it's easy to choose the book. Otherwise, we'll end up reading Tenali Ram, Akbar Birbal ki kahaniyan, because that's the path of least resistance. वो पढ़ने में दिमाग ही नहीं लगेगा. चलो पढ़ो, थोड़ा entertain करो, रख दो, छोड़ दो. The most precious resource that we have is our time. My economics teacher, Dr. Ghosh, in school in class 9 would say, time is the most unelastic of all resources. You can stretch money, you can stretch opportunities, you can stretch other resources, but how do you stretch time? And once gone, it's gone. Money is there in the bank, you can use it tomorrow. Opportunities will keep coming. Time, gone means gone. So if you and me are able to set our priorities life will not be a roller coaster ride anymore. Life will be very simple and very fluid. Unfortunately, we don't have a single technique for prioritizing. We have many techniques for prioritizing. So I'm going to share with you some things which has worked for me beautifully well over the past few years. And anyone who knows me well knows that in case you have any urgency, I will have time for you. It would be very difficult for any one of you to hear me saying, sorry, अगले 10 दिन तो मेरे पास मरने की भी फुर्सत नहीं है. Have you heard this term? Where people say, मरने की भी फुर्सत नहीं है मेरे पास. थोड़ा watered down है, आज मेरे पास सांस लेने का भी टाइम नहीं था. मतलब सुबह इनहेल किया, सीधा शाम को घर आके एक्सहेल किया उसने. Have you ever used these dialogues? How do I maximize my time? How do I live a balanced and a complete life? How do I live a life where I have a feeling of accomplishment every day? Where I don't feel lost or restless or I won't use the word sarcastic, but let's say cynical. So if somebody tells me I love you, in my heart I'm thinking, सिर्फ बोलने के लिए बोल. Now that is cynical. But even if something very beautiful is there, something inside me blocks it and says, मेरे साथ नहीं हो सकता. Have you ever felt that way? If you are about to be given promotion and somebody says you're getting promoted, a cynic will immediately think, कितना काम बढ़ेगा अभी. Normally, a cynic happens when the priorities in life are completely messed up. When the priorities are right, that smile is natural, the laughter is spontaneous. You are handling things which has pressure. At the same time, you know how to relax. You may be having a big thing in front of you, but you don't get stressed. You have time for friends, you have time for movies, you have time to go out, you have time to chill when priorities are right in life. So without much ado, let's move into a few things which will help you in setting the priorities of your life. Now, how many of you have heard about something called the Eisenhower Matrix? Nobody? Ashish, you have heard about Eisenhower Matrix?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Now, if I explain what Eisenhower Matrix is, all of you will say, yeah, that too I know. Stephen Covey gave us a matrix of important and urgent. Now, how many of you heard about that? Adeda, same. Eisenhower Matrix and Stephen Covey, the important, urgent, one and the same. Stephen Covey made it famous in the world, but the creator of this was Eisenhower. Now, please don't ask me to spell Eisenhower. Eisenhower. Okay? Now, it's a very simple matrix. For those of you who haven't done it ever before, let's do it very fast. And for those of you who have already done this a few times in life, anyway, in the course of today's discussion, we'll discuss 7 or 8 different ways in which you can set priorities. So it will be good to have everything in the same place. So do a quadrant, one line and 2 lines, and you divide the page into 4 parts. Make that quadrant. At 12 o'clock, write important. 6 o'clock, write not important. 3 o'clock, write urgent. 9 o'clock, not urgent. Now, Eisenhower, as he was the president of US, would divide everything he has to do into one of these 4 quadrants. Things which are important and urgent has to be done immediately, because it is important and it is urgent. Immediately. Things which are important but not urgent needs to be scheduled. ASAP करना है. Find a time slot. And the time slot for things which are important but not urgent should be my peak hours and not my dull hours. Something important, if I sit to do at 11:30 in the night when I'm very sleepy, I've slotted the time, but I will not be at my peak. Quality work will not happen. Important things has to be done at my peak hours. Things which are urgent but not important, ideally delegated. Ideally, delegate it. Important नहीं है, urgent है, मतलब किसी और का pressure है, delegate करो. Or be strong enough to say, sorry, I won't be able to do it. Slot a time for this when you are not at your peak. Your dull hours is the perfect time to do things which are urgent but not important. And that which is not important, not urgent, avoid it at all costs. Avoid it at all costs. Now think about any task that you have to do today and see if you can place it in the matrix. Or let's do one thing. Think about tasks which you think can go into the right bucket. Think about one thing that you need to do today which is important but not urgent. क्या हो सकता है? Do you have something today which is important but not urgent? I can visualize some of you saying 2 hours of extra sleep. Very important, but not urgent. For some of you, it can be scheduling your whole week. Very important, but not urgent. दोपहर को कर सकता हूँ, शाम को कर सकता हूँ. So can you think of something which is important but not urgent? Let's have some examples. What are you thinking? Important but not urgent. Doing weekly laundry, important but not urgent. Correct. Making monthly payments, important but not urgent. Correct. Correct, absolutely right.
Making few phone calls.
Making few phone calls. Important but not
Lovely.
urgent. Perfect. Brilliant. Brilliant. You're thinking on the right lines. Can you tell me something which is important and urgent? Now, Harshad Doshi is saying taking bath daily, important but not urgent. I think Ritu is better placed to say whether your taking bath is important and urgent or important but not urgent. What is important and urgent? Can anyone of you think and tell me? Attending life lessons right now. Very important and absolutely urgent. You can't postpone it. See? Ritesh, smart fellow. Absolutely. Paresh is also right. Listening to life lessons. Beautiful. Sachin Rane, daily accounting. Okay. Important, urgent, attention. Okay. Now, can you tell me something which is urgent but not important? So, not till 9 o'clock. Let's go beyond 9. Let's say between 9 to 11. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Urgent but not important. Doing work given by wife. Okay. Urgent but not important. Kunj, please share this with Sujata and come back to me. Buying vegetables. So you can see the men over here. Doing work of home is urgent but not important. Interesting. Very interesting. फंस गए बेचारे लोग. And those whose wife is not there who said it might be very, very happy. Getting art supplies for my daughter. Absolutely. बहुत urgent है, but not directly important for us. Fair enough? Now, meeting old friends. I'm very intrigued by this word old friend always. Are the friends old or you know these friends for a long time? What if a new friend is old? Do you still call it meeting old friend? Or do you call meeting new old friend? I'm just thinking. You need not answer at all. Meeting old friends. Okay. So this is one technique which works extraordinarily well. I have used this technique for years and it's always helped me make some very important choices. Teja is writing, making breakfast for all. Urgent but not important for me. Urgent but not important. If you think about it this way, when others impose what is important for them onto you, for you it is not important, but for the sake of a relationship, you end up doing it. These things becomes urgent but not important. I'll give you some classic examples. Somebody rings the doorbell. You don't know who's outside. How long can you ignore that doorbell? Urgent ho gaya? But in case you had not opened the door and you're not answered, jo kuch agar mere liye important hota na, I would have got a message, I would have got an email, somebody would have called me ahead, etc., etc. I can ignore it. Then you would have dealt with it. Or you might have said, Ashu darling, can you look at who's at the door, please? Delegate it. But if you end up getting up and going, you lose the flow of your work. And then you find somebody has come asking for address. I'll give you another example. Emails which pops up when you're working. These pop-ups create a sense of urgency, but they may not be important. Let's call somebody who's calling you on the phone. Have you seen people who can't resist answering the phone? Let's say, for example, it was time for me to enjoy chill because I wanted to relax because I have something very important coming up a little ahead. So I want to move into the zone. And at that time, if I see Shafi calling, will I be able to resist it and say, she's calling, but I will respond to her later on. I am already into the zone of something else. Or will that phone create a sense of urgency in me? और यार उसका phone आ रहा है, उठाओ. Missed call नहीं जाना चाहिए. You know, in earlier days when we used to have those black instruments for telephone calls, there we don't know who is calling. So it used to create a sense of urgency. पता नहीं किसका phone है. आज मालूम है किसका phone है. Still that same sense of urgency is there. So this is creating an urgency, but it is not important. Let's say a relative who's come home, dropped in without notice, even in coronavirus times. And they say, हम यहाँ से गुजर रहे थे, सोचा आपसे मिलके चलो. In your heart you might say, गुजर जाते. मैंने कुछ काम शेड्यूल किया हुआ था, मतलब तुम आ गए वो काम नहीं होगा मेरा. Because if the guest is come, you can't call them, ठीक है थोड़ा लॉन्ड्री कर रही हूँ आ जाओ ना. साथ में वहीं मशीन के पास में बैठ खड़े खड़े बात करते हैं अपन. अच्छा एक काम करो ना, जब तक मैं लॉन्ड्री कर रही हूँ आप जरा चाय बना दो ना, फिर अपन इकट्ठा चाय पियेंगे. डेलीगेट कर पाओगी? अगर नहीं कर पाओगी तो तुम्हारा जो शेड्यूल था दैट गोज फॉर अ टॉस. अभी वो आ गए तो अर्जेंसी तो हो गई, लेकिन इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है. So often we get sucked into things which creates a sense of urgency on us. It creates a sense of urgency. But it's not important. Let me give you another deadly example. Going for weddings you don't want to attend. जाना तो पड़ेगा, नहीं तो अपने यहां शादी होगी तो कौन आएगा. तो तेरा बच्चा अभी तक एलकेजी में भी नहीं गया. क्या फ्यूचरिस्टिक प्लानिंग. Have you ever been through this? You don't want to go for a wedding and yet you went for a wedding. And I'm not speaking about your wedding. For some of you, your marriage might have been like that. I don't want to get married. And yet you ended up getting married. Now that is also a brilliant example of urgent but not important. People created a sense of... Anybody here who got married just because you attained a certain age and everybody said, अब तेरी शादी की उम्र हो गई है? Anybody like that over here? You got married not because you wanted to or because you found someone. You got married because age हो गई. What is that? Classic social urgency. But for us it was not important. But we ended up doing that. So there are times when time gets wasted because we end up doing things which are urgent but not important. Any question on any quadrant? Important or urgent to सबको मालूम है. Not urgent, not important. Classically gossiping. Not urgent, not important. Not urgent, not important is waste of time. Social media. Not urgent, not important. Some of you may have the habit of reading your horoscope every day. Anybody? You are, let's say, a Scorpio, and you want to see what Bejan Daruwala has written on Scorpio. The most famous horoscope wala in our country is called Bejan. उसका नाम है Bejan. Do you know that? और उसके बाद में दारू वाला. उसका नाम दारू वाला है, तेरे को नशा है पढ़ने का के. According to Bejan Daruwala, what is going to happen in my life today? Anybody like that over here? You want to know what is happening in your horoscope? And then it is written, will meet an interesting person. Not urgent, not important. What? Reading that. Meeting interesting people. Important. I know when I ask people, at least 30% of them refer to their horoscopes. Simply for entertainment. And they say, we don't know, we know it doesn't work. Simply we wanted to read. And some things are there which are important but not urgent. These are the developmental aspects of our life. Fitness, for example. You want exercise today, tomorrow morning 4 people are not going to carry you. Ram, Naam, Satya hai. मतलब अर्जेंट नहीं है. Of course, बहुत important है. Because जब तुम्हारा 100 साल पूरा होगा, think about those 4 people also who want to carry you. उनको थोड़ा सुकून से तुमको कैरी कर सके, इसके लिए वजन थोड़ा कम. Planning, important but not urgent. Meditation, important but not urgent. Quality time with your loved ones, important but not urgent. Connecting with people with whom you have shared some amazing episodes of life, important but not urgent. Expressing love and gratitude, important but not urgent. Things which are developmental in our life are important but rarely urgent. Till one day it becomes a chaos. Doing things which are not important and not urgent is the path of least resistance. Binge watching of serials. Not important, not urgent. But you don't have to do anything over there. You just have to be there. Least resistance, least effort. तो चलो आज ये करते हैं, कल वो important चीज है ना वो देखेंगे. That's why we procrastinate. So one way of setting up your priorities is this Eisenhower Matrix. Now let's go into some other interesting techniques which has helped me in my life. There is a technique which is called eat the frog. Made very famous by Brian Tracy. I'm going to speak to you today about a few people who have made a few of these techniques very famous. Eisenhower Matrix is Eisenhower's gift, made famous by Stephen Covey. There's a book called Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy, who says, whatever is the most complicated and difficult thing in the day, do it first, get it out of your system. A frog does not look attractive. And if you have to eat that frog, and if it is there on your plate, you won't be able to enjoy the other things. Because the mind will keep saying, Arey Baba, I have to eat the frog. Arey Baba, I have to eat the frog. So the concept called eat the frog says, first do the most difficult, most complicated thing and get it out of the way. It's the exact opposite of path of least resistance. Say whatever has maximum resistance, do that first. You'll have a sense of accomplishment. You will also be completely relaxed. The most important thing of the day is already done with and over. Most people do the exact opposite because we don't like confrontation, because we don't like complicated things. We postpone them, and in postponing it, it becomes more complicated. So let's say I need to have a tough conversation with Ritesh on something. Ideally, I should be able to immediately call Ritesh and say, Ritesh, एक important बात करनी है, कब कर सकते हैं बता. If you have 15 minutes time, can we do it right now? Let me finish that so that the rest of the day I can enjoy. But chances are I'll keep postponing. तो बात तो करना है लेकिन थोड़ी देर बाद में करता हूँ. बात तो करना है लेकिन संडे चला गया, छोड़ पूरा वीक जाने दे, फिर नेक्स्ट संडे करेंगे. And the whole week, it keeps on running in the head, karna hai, karna hai, karna hai, karna hai, karna hai. This also has worked brilliantly for me. There is an unpleasant thing which has to be done. I will do it first, so that I can focus on everything else with a free mind. It's difficult, it's challenging, but it's very powerful. I mean, some of us have done that as children. Let's say you don't like bhindi because you think bhindi is a very violent sabji. You have to cut ladies' fingers. No? बहुत violent है भिंडी. So you say मेरे को भिंडी अच्छा नहीं लगता. And there is a plate in which there is bhindi, there is aloo matar which you love, there is paneer which is yummy, there is amras also in this season. मतलब सब एकदम तरह अच्छी चीजें हैं. Now imagine you see bhindi which has to be eaten. You have to see, and as you eat the others, are you able to enjoy it completely? On the other hand, थोड़ा मन करके let me eat this bhindi and clear it off. जो भी 2-4 कवा खाना है, खाया, खत्म. Now how much you are going to enjoy the amras? So this concept is called eat the frog. The unpleasant, the complicated, the emotionally draining, the difficult, do it first. Begin the day with a sense of accomplishment. Complicated tha, khatam kiya, chalo aage badho. Now comparatively, everything is easy. So when you live that kind of a day where you say, now comparatively everything is easy, you think good about yourself. For those of you who are vegetarians, you might write, eat the palak, eat the bhindi, instead of eat the frog. Because imagine, Vikas Bhau has written, eat the frog. And his father Bhausa says, आज क्या क्या पढ़ा है बता मेरे को. And Vikas happily gives his notebook and Bhausa sits there. Vikas has written point number 2, eat the frog. Complicated है. So he can write, eat the palak. Personalize life lesson to your life. Okay. I have another technique which works brilliantly well for me. There are times when I know this is very, very important for me, and I don't bother it's urgent or not. But I create blinkers and I tell, avoid everything till this is complete. I withdraw myself from everything till that thing is complete. My phone will go on airplane mode. Even my laptop goes into an airplane mode. I tell everybody at office, whatever happens, do not disturb me. And I withdraw. Avoid everything till this gets completed. So let's say life lessons is a classic example. Avoid everything till this gets done. No distraction means no distraction. And I see so many of you do this brilliantly well. When you are at life lessons, everything else is completely cut off. But there is no temptation to see the notifications on your phone. You are not attempting to do multitasking. You are in that zone. It brings productivity like nobody's business. You want peak productivity. Every now and then you should be able to tell yourself, till this is completed, avoid everything. If you are a person who lives by FOMO, and most youngsters would know what is FOMO. My old friends over here may not know what is FOMO. Fear of missing out. Then you cannot withdraw yourself and stay 100% focused. So FOMO and focus are each other's enemies. So if you are desperate to know who has liked your post, if you're desperate to find out who sent you a WhatsApp message, and you don't want to miss out on those things, then you won't be able to withdraw and focus 100%. But it's a technique which works brilliantly well for me. But what if, Naren, I miss something important? Dekha jayega. Fortunately, I don't do anything in my life with fear. So if you are also a person who's not driven by fear, who has fear kind of controlled, then you can withdraw yourself and stay focused on something which is most critical. Anything which requires your peak attention needs you to withdraw from everything else. Imagine you are a fighter pilot in a MiG-29 and you're going at 4 times supersonic speed and you are experiencing 5G in your body, 5 times gravity, that much is the power and pressure on your body. What kind of a focus is required? And at that time, as you're flying, if you say, WhatsApp jara check kar leta hu, it will be dangerous. So if you're a person who likes to excel, if you're a person who loves to do things at a very classy level, if you're a person who says, I must be proud of what I have done, then this works brilliantly well. If your habit is to hustle and bustle and get things somehow done, manage kar liya, nipta diya, then this thing won't work for you. How many of you have heard a term called sunken cost fallacy? Ashish? No? I'm about to say something which is very, very beautiful, and now and then in life we suffer from this. It's a complicated thing to master. It requires a tremendous sense of detachment. It also needs an ability to do things in the present, keeping future in mind, and not do things in the present, keeping the past in mind. Sunken cost fallacy. What does it mean? It means, now as I explain, see if you can mirror with this. किसी चीज के ऊपर अपन लोगों ने अगर कुछ ज्यादा टाइम दिया है या थोड़े पैसे डाले हैं, we have this thinking, अरे यार इस चीज में इतना टाइम दिया है, अभी इसको कंप्लीट करो, नहीं तो जितना टाइम दिया वो पूरा वेस्ट हो जाएगा. Sometimes we hold on to relationships because of that. 6 years I have given to this relationship. Now, even if the relationship has become toxic, where you may not have respect, we may not be going the right path, we may not be in the right direction. But that sadness, oh my God, मेरा पिछला 6 साल पूरा waste हो गया, makes us give another 2 years. Knowing fully well that the past 6 years was a waste, I end up giving another 2 years in a hopeless situation, still holding on to hope. By some way it should become okay. Now this thinking pattern is called sunken cost fallacy. इतना पैसा डाल दिया ना, थोड़ा और डालो, शायद पूरा का पूरा वापस आ जाए. Again, my professor Ghosh used to say, this is like throwing good money behind bad money. What does it mean? जो पैसा गया वो तो बर्बाद हो ही गया. So that is bad money. Now hoping थोड़ा और डाला तो शायद आ जाएगा, we put more good money behind the bad money. We waste our time with sunken cost fallacy. Let's say you paid 3,000 rupees and you joined a course. Midway you realize, यार ये कोर्स में मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Would you just stop it and move on? Or would you say, नहीं यार अभी 3,000 रुपए दे दिया है तो कंप्लीट तो कर ही ले. Your money is already gone. Now your time will also be gone. And let me give you another example which some of you would have definitely gone through in life. Have you ever gone to see a movie and realized it is absolutely bakwas? But you kept on sitting in that movie hall because 150 rupees का ticket था. And every 10 minutes you kept on telling to the person with whom you have gone, क्या बकवास movie. ये लोग ऐसा मूवी बनाते क्या है? फालतू टाइम खराब होता है. बट 150 रुपए दिए, कम से कम एसी तो वसूल करूं. Has it ever happened with you? Or after 45 minutes you realize it's a bakwas movie, you got up and came home. Sunken cost fallacy is wasting more behind the waste that we have already created. I have seen many people suffer because of this. Share market, business ventures. It's a tough call to accept that it's not working out. If you realize something is a waste, don't waste more. It's almost like you're driving on the road and you know that you missed the turn behind. Will you keep driving? Or will you take a U-turn? Will you say, I know I am on the wrong path, I should have taken the right behind, but anyway, let me go a little further. That's sunken cost fallacy. Here, let me give you another brilliant technique. Brilliant technique. There is something that I call as time multipliers. Read on this phrase, time multiplier. What do I mean by time multipliers? What can I do today which will make my tomorrow better? Instead of crying about what I did yesterday, which did not result in something positive, that is sunken, डूब गया वो, it's already sunk. What can I do today which will make my tomorrow better? Which means the benefit should multiply with time. Planting a seed is a time multiplier. Planning my savings is a time multiplier. Creating a great team is a time multiplier. In case of students, studying properly is a time multiplier. In case of professionals, being updated with what is important and latest is a time multiplier. Neha wants to become a top-class writer, author. Now, even if she is inundated with 25 different things to do, if she wants to do a course, let's say by Harvard on writing and persuasion skills, and let's say it takes about 8 weeks, 5 hours every week, if she is able to create this time today, tomorrow it will help her beautifully well in expressing herself as an author and a writer. What are the things that I can do today which are going to be my multipliers? So there are some things that I do to survive today. There are some things I do to multiply tomorrow. Ravi just did the batch, and in the batch I was telling Ravi about how is it that he should network, which will be a time multiplier. और ऐसे लोगों से नेटवर्क करना जहां one shot and a lot happens. Time multiplier. What will make my tomorrow better? Another way to look at time multiplier is what will free up my time tomorrow? What can I do today so that tomorrow I'll become free? If it frees up my time, it's a time multiplier. So in your business, having a good CRM is a time multiplier. Using technology the right way is a time multiplier. A place for everything, everything in its place, time multiplier. A stitch in time saves 9, time multiplier. You expand your capacity so that your future is better. I've said this multiple times, I'm going to say it again today. For many of us, the only strategy of life that we have is hope. Somehow customers should buy, somehow people should respect me, somehow I'll find good friends, somehow my health should remain okay. This thing called somehow is a very dangerous word. Ideally, it should be, I know this should be done for that to happen. Somehow, nahi, I should know how. So when I say somehow, my strategy is only hope. It's a very bad strategy. Now, instead of hoping on hope, get focused on time multipliers. So today, if Anil has to do planning, so that tomorrow he has a lot of free time. Today, if he has to make 3 phone calls, so that tomorrow there are 10 customers who will come in. What are your multipliers? Very critical. Very, very critical. When will you be able to do this? When you have a little clarity on your own long term. 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, where do you want to be? If you haven't thought of that time frame, then obviously you're not thinking about multipliers. So what will create free time for me tomorrow is a time multiplier. What will make my tomorrow better is a time multiplier. Next point. Now this is very beautiful and something which Warren Buffett would do. Every year, Warren Buffett writes down 25 goals that he has in life. He's only about 90 years old, so he writes only 25 goals. What are the 25 goals for this year? So let's do that exercise. Take a sheet of paper and anything which comes to your mind with respect to your fitness, family, fun, friends, financial, सब F वाले words हो गए. Too good. Write down कितना आता है देख 15, 20, 25. Let's do that. It's a very interesting exercise. Let's do that. Write down 25 of your goals that you want to achieve before 31st March 2022. 1 year. Not calendar year, but accounting year. Let these have your personal desires, career desires, कितना पैसा बनाने का है, कितना टर्नओवर करने का है, कहाँ घूमने जाने का है, क्या पढ़ने का है, क्या पढ़ाने का है, क्या लेना है, क्या देना है. 25 goals. How many of you could write more than 10? Nice. More than 20? अच्छा, more than 10 बहुत है, more than 20 कम है. Now, less than 10. How many of you could not even write? Glad. Okay, now what we are going to do? If you have written 10, whatever you have written, round up any 5 which you think कुछ भी हो जाए करना ही है. Round them. Goal. 5 which must be done no matter what. I know it's a little difficult. 1, 2, 3 might be obvious and then suddenly 7, 8 might be obvious. But not more than 5. Forced choice, not more than 5. Warren Buffett says, this is the most important exercise he does every year. In one of the meetings when he was asked, what's the system by which you live such a happy, prosperous life? He said, this is my system. First, I write all the goals I have, all random goals. Then I choose which is the 5 that I'm going to focus on. And I completely ignore the goals that I have not circled. This is his priority creating exercise. He says, always be realistic about what you can achieve or how much you can achieve. You want to achieve 20 things together, that would be ideal, but that is not possible. ये भी करना है, 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 ये भी करना है. You will be below average. Forget about excelling. You will manage, you won't lead. You will tick mark the boxes, you won't create great memories. Like Shefu was saying, doing laundry for the day. Like this, you will manage enough things. But you look back, your sense of achievement would be kind of zero. Life would look mundane. And if you want to live a life of impact, if you want to live a life of impact, then this exercise helps brilliantly. Because to do something well, you need to go deep, you need to understand, you need to create time, you need to realize how much you need to improve, then you need to move into the improvement cycle. And if you have to do all of this, there cannot be more than 5 things that you are chasing at any given point of time. Others are done if there is time, but they don't distract you. You don't have them as a priority. Then you will do really well. I think Warren Buffett has a lot of wisdom. And what he has achieved in his company is breathtaking. If he says something, there must be a very deep science and very deep thought behind it. Sometimes it's a little cruel because you want to do 8 things and not 5. But Warren Buffett still says, cap it at 5. Chances are some of you over here are better than Warren Buffett. So you might be able to do 6, 7, 8 also. But maybe your impact will get compromised. I mean, Ashish would know this so well. Attempting to run 2 different kinds of companies. One completely into software and services and the other completely driven as a product. At times he must be feeling split. यार एक को ध्यान दे कि एक को स्क्रीन करते ना. But to mitigate the possibility of losses, or maybe because of sunken cost fallacy, इतना टाइम दिया है तो ऐसे कैसे छोड़ दें? You feel that inner struggle. And we avoid taking the tough calls and postpone it by another few days or few weeks or few months. Setting priorities is so much about taking tough calls. Sometimes in setting priorities, you also need a sense of ruthlessness. like I said, it's so important to understand what you are capable of and therefore focus on what brings the best out of you. Hope is a bad strategy. What drives us in life is a sense of achievement. What makes us break through our comfort zones is a sense of achievement. What gives us pride is a sense of achievement. What makes us search for purpose? Sense of achievement. What makes us go through tough times? Sense of achievement. What makes me forgive and move on? Sense of achievement. What makes me take the biggest of decisions kind of effortlessly? A deep inner sense of achievement. कि मैं कर लेगा, हो जाएगा. Sense of achievement is a very important part of our life. When I set my priorities right, and when I am able to execute life based on what I set as my priorities, on a day-to-day basis, I get a sense of achievement. So if I'm practicing for a marathon, getting up and going for my exercise when I had decided, because it's a priority for me, will give me a sense of achievement. It need not be only the day I run a marathon that I have a sense of achievement. There is a series of sense of achievement, and the completion of marathon is almost ये तो होना ही था by default. You would have come across some students in school who know they will come first. Because the way they plan, the way they study, the way they understand, the way they interact, the way they get clarity, they know first to आना ही है. Similarly, एक अच्छी जिंदगी तो होनी ही है is much easier for us to achieve when we have a sense of priority and we back it with sense of achievements. You find any great person or any inspiration of yours, and chances are you will see somebody who has clarity on priorities and who acts on priorities. You find people who have a lot of potential but not able to live up to that potential. You find either they are confused about their priorities or they are not able to act as per their priorities. Get your priorities right to get your life right. This is a complicated subject because sometimes there are conflicting priorities. I understand that. So now let me open this platform for you to ask me questions that you might have. And based on your real life situations, let me see if I can help you by giving some clarity. So, do you have any questions? around priorities. If you have, make it a priority to ask. Sometimes it is the start which matters, and sometimes it is starting well that matters. Sometimes if the start is not good, things might collapse. And sometimes if there is a start, momentum will get built. So these are two different kind of scenarios that you might have in life. I have to meet the chairman of a company. I cannot say एक बार मिलके आते हैं फिर देखते हैं क्या होगा. I should be clear about what I want to achieve in that meeting, because I may not get a second time, a second opportunity, a second chance to meet that fellow. That guy may be a super busy guy. He has many priorities. A lot of people are fighting for his time. So there I need to have a great start. There are places where I need not have a great start. I just need to start. For example, my fitness journey. I can just say, boss, 20 minute रोज सिर्फ walking कर ले यार. शुरू कर. Start will give the momentum. It need not be a great start. It needs to be a start. So things where I have time to create an impact, start is required. Things where the start itself should have an impact, homework is required. So which are these two categories? Whatever be the things that you are postponing, where does it fall? If I want to exercise, but I say, नहीं मैं अच्छा जूता चाहिए, अच्छा socks चाहिए, अच्छा trainer चाहिए, अच्छा मौसम चाहिए, and I create all these conditions, I will definitely postpone. यहाँ पे इतने preparation की जरूरत नहीं है, start करना जरूरी है. जो पहला possibility दिखता है start करने का, उसमें घुस जाना. So Ritesh More calls and says, Naren, shall we exchange how much we have exercised every day with each other? हाँ, कल से चालू करते हैं. क्या प्रॉब्लम है? स्टार्ट करने का. No, let's first create an Excel sheet. Let's color code the Excel sheet. Then let's create a program over there by which we will get automatic daily updates. भाई सब की जरूरत नहीं है, सब बाद में कर लेना. स्टार्ट कर. स्टार्ट कर. So wherever you are resisting the start itself, you need to think a little deeper, push yourself outside your comfort zone and make a beginning. Whenever the extraordinary quality is there and you will get only one chance to make a great impact, there prepare a lot, talk to a lot of people, take some time out, think and analyze. And go ahead. Don't crisscross these two. Don't go casual to a meeting where you will not get a second chance. And don't over prepare for something where the start by itself was important. So when you can do these two understanding, you will be able to handle the procrastination a little better. Talk to an expert. Talk to people who don't hesitate in challenging your thoughts. Don't talk to people who are yes men. Don't talk to people who are too sweet and too kind. Talk to people who can call a spade and talk to people who can challenge your thoughts. So when you are confused, go to people who are wise and who are experts. It's a simple. Do not attempt to solve it all by yourself. Take help. So different kind of people are involved. Let's say one set of people are the investors. The other set of people are the team. Third set of people are people who have sacrificed for the sake of our dreams. So let's think about it from three different places. Everybody makes mistakes in life. Everybody loves honesty and transparency. When I take certain decisions, I assume certain things. As I move ahead, my assumptions might turn out to be wrong, or there might be pieces of knowledge that I was not even aware of. So new factors come in. When I present the new situation to people, let's say the investors, and I tell them these were the assumptions, this is the effort we put, these are the new things that has happened, looks like if we continue, this is the future. If we don't continue, this is the present. Let's brainstorm. I'm able to see things in a particular way, and I would like to know your thoughts. Maybe collectively we'll find a way to salvage the situation. Maybe collectively we'll find that we made certain mistakes that could have been avoided. Maybe collectively we'll find that nobody was to blame because things happened very rapidly and those things were not in our control. Some of them will get upset, they will get hurt. But then if somebody is invested, they know this is a part of the game. As long as my intentions are right, as long as my character is good, there will be times when I realize what I am doing is wrong, what I did is wrong. It's time for me to own up my mistake and say that things may not work out. Is it difficult? Yeah, it's very, very difficult. Is it something that should be done? Absolutely, it should be done. Now let's talk about our team. There will be some people who have sacrificed brilliant opportunities for our sake. And there are people who have come and gone because for them it was another job, another task to be done. If there are people who have emotionally invested their life and they have sacrificed, let's do our best to ensure that their sacrifice was worth it. Either through gratitude or through a decision in the heart that one day I'm going to make up for it. Or through our network, let's see if we can get them into something which is beautiful, brilliant, futuristic for themselves. So this is how I would deal with that situation. Eat that frog. It's difficult. I wish there is a solution, but if I'm not able to see anything, let me create a timeline and certain milestones and say, okay, I'm giving this another 3 months, another 6 months, another 1 year. This is what I'm going to do. If it doesn't work out, then we need to take the call. Will people scream, shout, badmouth us? Maybe they will. But that's a part of the process of life. I need not make a second mistake to cover up for my first mistake. Because let me see the future. 3 years down the line, if I continue this path, what happens? After 3 years, I'll have to have the same conversation. Why not have it today? आज तो और जान है, ताकत है, कुछ कर सकते हैं. 3 साल बाद तो और कमजोर हो जाएंगे. So eat that frog. Sunken cost fallacy, that's why is a very, very emotional thing. Because there are complicated parties involved. But we'll take it on our chin as we move on. I see some questions typed. Okay. Your health, your meditation is your priority number one. According to Warren Buffett's exercise, fitness, health will be in the first five circles. Because वो नहीं है तो क्या फायदा? Sunil, it's like this. No company is going to stand by you when your health is down. No company is going to stand by you when you become a chaotic person. As long as you add value, you are in demand. The day you do not add value, the nature of corporations is they have to take a call and they have to let you go. There's nothing personal, it's very objective. So taking care of yourself has to be your priority number one. Find a way to get more work done. Now, this is a challenge I give to everybody. Everybody who says, I'm very busy and I don't have time. Let's say Rajita is over here and Rajita says, मैं बहुत packed schedule चल रहा है, I don't have time. And I ask her, okay, darling, in case there is a client who wants to give you business for about 20 crores and he is calling for a meeting within 40 minutes, will you be able to create time? Or will you tell that client, I'm extremely sorry, I don't have time, I will not be able to come even if you give me a 20 crore order? तुम कुछ रास्ता निकालोगी, 100% निकालोगी. उस समय तुम कुछ डेलीगेट करोगी, कुछ रीशेड्यूल करोगी. Do the same for your health, na? I've said this in some batches and let me say it to all of you again. Sonu Sood says, I have only 22 hours every day and whatever I need to do has to be done in 22 hours. Sonu Sood was called by Jackie Chan as the fittest villain on this planet. And a person like Jackie Chan calling somebody else fit is an extraordinary compliment. You know who's Jackie Chan? You know who's Sonu Sood? So Sonu Sood says, जितना भी काम है मेरे पास लाइफ में, वो 22 घंटे के अंदर, which includes my traveling, my sleeping, my eating, my acting, वो 2 घंटा तो है ही नहीं मेरे पास. वो तो दे दिया मैंने फिटनेस को. जो मेरे पास है नहीं उसके बारे में सोचने का नहीं. Now this kind of ruthlessness is required. And I said it earlier also, to set your priorities, a little ruthlessness will be required. नहीं है मतलब नहीं है और काम होगा. So Sunil, this is my challenge to you. Let's assume you get an extraordinary breakthrough. Let's assume you are earning 50 lakhs right now and somebody offers you 2.5 crores. But the only thing is the volume of that business is about 5 times your current volume. Will you find ways to manage 5 times more work? Or will you say, नहीं वो नहीं हो पाएगा, मेरा 50 लाख ठीक है, 2.5 करोड़ नहीं चाहिए. You will find a way to do 5 times more work and your 24 hours cannot expand. So fight for good resources, take great assistants, invest in systems and technology, but your life is always your first priority. Your family is always your second priority. There are certain areas where कम से चल जाता है. तुम 50 की जगह 30 लाख चलाओगे, काम चल जाएगा. लेकिन तुम्हारा शरीर नहीं चलेगा तो कुछ नहीं चलेगा. Again, hope is a bad strategy. I hope nothing happens to me. So your fitness, your meditation, your relationships, make it your priority. And give the balanced time to anything that you need to do. Be like Sonu Sood. That's the answer to our darling Sonu. Done. I am now going to share the Padlet with all of you. Okay, let's do this experiment in today's life lesson and let's see how it goes. My answer is to everyone. Click on this link and write what is your most important takeaway from today's life lesson. Let's see how it works. अरे अपना नाम लिख दो यार, anonymous मत डालो. See, Bhavna has written her name over there. What is your most important takeaway for the day? Why is everybody writing fitness is my priority? So let's see what have we learned today. We have learned the Eisenhower Matrix, important and urgent. We have understood that avoid everything till it is finished, that concept. Stay focused on one act till that is completed, avoid everything else. We also learned about Warren Buffett and his philosophy of 25 by 5. We also learned a very important and a very tough thing to do, which is the sunken cost fallacy. We end up throwing good money after bad money, good time after bad time, good attention after bad attention. Very, very difficult to do, but something which needs to be done. We also understood about time multipliers, things which will make my tomorrow better. We also understood something very important in line with Warren Buffett, and that is be very realistic about what can be achieved. Don't be too over-ambitious, and that's why those 5 things. And if you can do those 5 things well, it will be really, really helpful. We also learned about eat the frog. If you have 10 things to do and one thing is complicated, get that complicated thing done so that you can focus on enjoying the whole day beautifully well. So I think we learned some very, very beautiful things out of today's life lesson. And it's lovely to see these Padlets appear. I will do a little more work on that to ensure that next time it's even better. And I'll find out ways by which we can save this and we can share it with everybody. So that if you ever have to remember today's life lesson, all you need to do is go to this Padlet and you will remember it. We'll work a little to find out if it works brilliantly well. Were you comfortable in using the Padlet, or was it feeling lost? Comfortable, no? Okay, some of you are very comfortable. We are doing something new. So when we do something new, there will be bound to be some teething troubles. This is one of those things where शुरू तो करो और फिर आगे जाके देखते हैं कि कैसे ठीक कर सकते. So those of you who are very, very comfortable with technology, if you can find things like this, or if you know about things like this, which can help the fraternity remember things better or recollect things better, please do share us. If any one of you knows how to make better use of the Padlet, please let us know. Let the fraternity be very technologically enabled fraternity. I know, I mean, this is one issue that I see over here, that we don't know how to add our name directly to the post-it note kind of a thing. Na? Okay, we'll figure that out and we'll come back to you. I really believe that today's life lesson would be of tremendous importance to all of us. Let's use today's life lesson, practice it, see what are the difficulties or challenges which comes. In case there is anything, send me a message. We'll chat or we'll get on a call and we'll sort it. Let this year probably be the most focused year we have ever lived in our life. Let this year be where there is a tremendous sense of achievement on a daily basis and not only on a yearly basis. Let's have a beautiful time. I'll see all of you next Sunday with yet another wonderful life lesson.